Hey all, Glenn Kirschner here. Please enjoy this video on the Political Voices Network.
Trump will soon be in our rearview mirror, spending the rest of his days in criminal courtrooms because hashtag justice matters.
That's right.
Yeah. But, you know, it's so interesting. A conservative columnist, Matt Lewis, I don't know if you know him, he said his belief that Trump will fade from the scene if he loses to Vice President Harris lessens every day. And now he expects a Trump presidential run in 2028.
I do too.
Yeah, absolutely.
He said Donald Trump has every incentive to keep running for president, at least pretend he's going to run for president. Part of it has to do with the grifting. And he said, I also think the possibility becomes a little harder to go after him to try to prosecute him if he is, in fact, the nominee of the Republican Party, and it looks like vengeance. Frankly, I don't think anyone that has the power in the Republican Party to stop him. I mean, oh God, please tell me this nightmare is going to be over November 5th.
Yeah, at some point it is going to be over. And listen, if Donald Trump loses the election and loses whatever fraudulent court cases he has his new dirty batch of lawyers file, just as he lost them all in 2020, then the next thing he does is announce his candidacy for 2028 and then say you can't prosecute me because I'm a candidate for the presidency. When is the lunacy going to end? I do think the really good news, and there is a silver lining, is that once we have a former prosecutor in the Oval Office, she will understand the importance of asserting the rule of law and applying it to the ruling class criminals up to and including Donald Trump. And that is the only way we're going to right this ship. We go after the Supreme Court, the rot at the top, and we address their lawlessness and their abuses. We go after the members of Congress who asked for pardons for the crimes they knew they committed on and around January 6, 2020, and thus far have gotten away with those crimes, even though they have virtually confessed to them already.
Thank you.
I think a prosecutor in the Oval Office will understand the non-negotiable need to do all of this, especially because it hasn't been done over the last few years.
We just had your friend and now our friend Lucas Coons on.
Yes.
You know, it is a yes and improv, isn't it? Let's do the same thing with Trump, Hawley, Cruz. Let's, beat these insurrectionists at the ballot box, and then they should go to prison. I mean,
at the box office.
They should be
and
prosecuted.
At the box office.
Right.
Anyway.
Sorry, I'm in Hollywood. Everything's box office to me. Ballot box. What did I say? Here's some good news on the justice front. You tweeted, Judge orders Georgia election workers Shane Moss and Ruby Freeman can seize Rudy Giuliani's stuff to satisfy their $146 million defamation judgment because, hashtag,
Justice matters.
Yes. How'd you know that?
I had a guess.
Yeah, I mean, his apartment, all his fancy sports memorabilia, I mean, all of it. But again, as anybody know, prosecutor or not, Glenn, you have to prosecute crime to deter other people from committing crime. Like, I love the Michael Flynn deposition. You always talk about this, in a court of law. Once you meet the hard light of a court of law, CNN's obtained a video deposition of Mike Flynn acknowledging he has no evidence to back up a key part of his conspiracy theories that he has floated for years about the 2020 election being rigged. This is a defamation lawsuit filed by Dominion Voting Systems exec. A lawyer said, "Have you seen any evidence that you would consider credible, Mr. Flynn, that Eric Coomer played a role in rigging the 2020 election?" Flynn, I have not. No, I don't really know. Well. And then he's been on every single right-wing outlet podcast claiming all that. But this is what I mean. It's like this ends in a court of law under oath, doesn't it?
Yeah, Steph, and I can't speak for all veterans, but I can speak for this veteran. I can speak for myself. It is obscene to me that he continues to collect his retirement from our tax dollars while he's out trying to destroy democracy, trying to undermine confidence in our elections, and now just apparently admitting, I didn't really have evidence to back up any of these claims. Why he hasn't been restored to active duty and prosecuted, which is a lawful process when retired officers are engaged in this kind of misconduct, is beyond me. My only hope is that maybe Jack Smith also has him in his sights, because more federal indictments are coming. Of that, I am certain. More federal indictments are coming. I hope that Mike Flynn is one of those people, and that's the only reason the Department of Defense has refused to tackle the Mike Flynn problem.
Can I take a second, America, and urge you to Google Glenn Kirschner's old football photo? That is... oh, man. And he tweets, "Hey, men, With a vote for Harris, you can support and protect the health and safety of your wife, your daughters, your nieces, your granddaughters, your female friends and acquaintances. Or with a vote for Trump, you can deprive them of all of their autonomy and endanger their lives. Thank you. What can I say? But thank you. We just, Glenn, I feel like this campaign cycle just drips of misogyny, and it's, I know there are more good men like you, I hope, out there than bad. So thank you.
Yeah, the women are going to do it. They're getting to the polls in record numbers for early voting. The men have to stand up and do it as well, because we don't want to be complicit in driving, our loved ones, our daughters and nieces and sisters and grandchildren into back alleys to do what Donald Trump has told them. They're not permitted to make their own decision about in doctors' offices, which is just an obscene sin is what it is, doing that to women, relegating them to second-class citizens. And let's get the men out there to be just as enthusiastic protecting women's rights as the women are.
Sigh. Squee. Okay. I want to see you in person next Saturday. Sexy Liberal LA. Oh my
yeah.
God. With Mark Hamill and Martin Sheen and Representative Adam Schiff and Glenn Kirschner. All superheroes. They're like the Democratic Avengers. They're just, sexyliberal.com. Get those last tickets for in person in LA or pay-per-view available as well. We will see you next week, honey.
Love you, Steph. Can't wait to see you all.
All right. Love you too. Bye.
Hey all, Glenn Kirschner here. I hope you'll join me on my new audio podcast, Justice Matters. I'll be using my 30 years as a federal prosecutor and Army JAG to unpack, break down, and explain the legal issues of the day, particularly where the legal intersects with the political. Please look for Justice Matters with Glenn Kirschner wherever you generally get your podcasts.